Good morning, one and all. Welcome to Still Only 35 Cents. This is the Merry Monday Mailcall Show. As you know, it's Monday here in Australia. It's Sunday, probably wherever you are, but we don't let that stop us. Today is something a little different for me. As you probably know, I'm a bit of a Marvel fan, but I am exploring the realms of DC with certain comics and characters. So today's show is all about DC comics and classics and keys that I seem to have picked up in the last few weeks and months. So I thought I'd share them with you. As I'm not that knowledgeable on DC as much as I'd like to be, I've brought a couple of guests on to help me with this week's show. First of all, Nate from Hall Yeah Comics.
Hello.
Good to have you, sir. Thank you very much for joining. I need your help.
I'll do what I can.
Thank you very much. And then,
I'm not the best lore guy, so I hope you've got somebody who is.
I suspect I have, and very opinionated in a good way.
Yes.
Cliff on Comics.
Hello.
How are you?
Cliff.
I'm good with my Superboy and the Legion Treasury Edition behind me.
There we go.
Speaking about lore.
I sort of knew that this would be the perfect meld. You know, take this DC virgin and make him whole, right?
I do have a perfect mouth and it works great with holes.
That's very good.
Oh,
right. First of all, before we get started, if you haven't already, please go and check out and subscribe to these wonderful people and their wonderful channels. I enjoy watching them tremendously. So I'm assuming that you would too. But yes, by all means, please go and check them out. Let me just check the comments as well. I'm assuming we have friends in the chat as well. We have Derek. Hello. Great to see you, Derek. Welcome. Cliff's here, but I'm not going to bring him up. And Hall Yeah is here. So everyone's here. So I will keep an eye on the chat. I still need to set it up for guests so that they can also help with chat as well. But I'm assuming our guests will do the usual stuff. So maybe I will bring up the camera and we'll get this show started, shall we?
Okay.
All
Let's
right.
see I want to see what you got. I want to see what you are excited for DC wise.
Well, this one has a little bit of story because this is my I won this as part of the giveaway on Only Slabs a few weeks back, and I did make a promise to Rob and Chris that I would open this live. So this is going to be our starter for 10, which we'll see what's inside. Now, does anyone, Cliff? Do you know about these DC Walmart parks? Because apparently they're a thing, right?
Okay, so I live in an area where they are a ghost to us. I have been to every Walmart in a 60-mile radius and I have never seen or touched one with my bare hands in my life. I hate it.
You hate the fact that you can't get them.
I hate that I can't get them, and I hate that I don't even think they exist anymore. Now it's just like if you walk into a Walmart that still happens to have some kicking around, good luck.
Yeah, I used to see them in Walmart, and I don't see these anymore. There's another grocery chain called Meijer that used to carry them too, but I have not seen comics in either of those stores in forever.
So annoying.
Is it best to crack them? I'm assuming so.
Oh yeah, I mean I would.
Okay, and then am I looking for anything specific? Is there anything that would
the Marvel ones had alternate covers and foil covers?
Yeah, well, you can only see this Wonder Woman 84 on
right.
Yeah, you know, oh, Museum Mayhem. Oh, Diana, what are you getting into?
She's an archaeologist.
Is she or something?
In that movie, she is.
It's like whose body is your dead boyfriend going to invade this time?
Yeah, that movie was very strange.
I have never laughed so hard at the dummy work, the poor dummy work in a movie, and that was such big budget. Her rescuing the child from the road that was obviously just a doll. It was the best. But other than laughing at it, yeah, that movie was really disappointing. Given how I like the first one.
Oh, most people love the first one. I would have been fine if the movie had maintained its Superman 3 nature from the opening act. I would have been happier with the movie. You know, where she's doing the rescue in the mall.
Yes.
I would have been like, if the movie had been that, I would have been fine. But the fact is that movie has that scene and that tone is not maintained whatsoever.
No, it's not. It really surprised me that it was made by. It was the same director too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I know, but there's a lot of rumors about how they went about it and who left so many notes behind and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, it was really forgettable.
Right.
Now, I wouldn't say forgettable because it's just memorable in the bad way.
Yeah. But I couldn't tell you what the plot was. I mean, I know Maxwell Lord was in it.
Maxwell Lord becomes one with the Dreamstone to grant wishes, and this jealous pseudo archaeologist who works with her wish is to be more like Diana, and of course the price of that is her becoming more and more like the Cheetah. So and that's the gist. And then because he's a living Dreamstone, chaos ensues around the planet, and then And then because Diana killed Ares in the first movie, but she didn't kill Ares in the comic, they flipped it. And so instead of killing Maxwell Lords like she did in the comic, she stops him using her lasso. But in doing so, reminds us that we should settle for the bullshit that our lives are, right? Rather than having crazy wishes. And that's what makes him the real villain. That we hate that our lives are mundane and that we should just give up on them wanting to be better. And we should look for happiness and passivity in the garbage that we swim in every day. Or at least that's just my version of the movie. I don't know.
It's not a complex take at all.
I only watched the movie 7 times.
Comic Cap's
in the house.
Rich.
Hello. All right. So we've got this exclusive movie tie-in, which I don't think any of us are very happy with.
Might be better than the movie. Who knows?
What's
We've got
next?
a Batgirl 46.
I like that cover.
Yeah, I'm okay. I think that's okay for a win. Lee In-hook cover, variant cover.
Oh, that's a great cover.
Yeah,
that's nice. Really, get it out of the light. Nice. There you go. So yeah, variant cover. Another variant cover. Lois Lane 11.
I like that.
I like that too. That's so good. So good so far, right?
Yeah.
And a Harley Quinn Betrayed. 70.
Yeah. Oh, they can't all be winners. And
they can't all be winners. Yeah. So I think the best of the bunch are these two.
Yeah, I agree.
So
what did you pay for that?
It was a giveaway from.
Okay. I was just like I feel like when I find those, and I can still find there's a discount store we have over here called Ollie's, and sometimes they still have a 5-pack of books, and it used to be $5. So
not
even if you only got $5 books, it was still pretty good.
Well, the only problem I've got with this is I actually really like this cover.
I do too.
It's really nice. I'm looking at it. 3 spine ticks on the thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's in a pack. How did it get that? Anyway. But they've all got spine ticks on them. But it's irrelevant. Still good cut. I like this one. This is very art. It
is a very cool Lois Lane cover.
I've got a modern Ollie's pack, and I've got 3 of the classic Ollie's pack.
Oh, and then I get this poster.
That's cool.
Oh, that's neat.
I like that.
Yeah. Gal Gadot. Actually, if she ever does a signing, that's the perfect one to get her to sign, isn't it?
It is. They really went all in on Gal Gadot. Really, they really did. That poor woman.
Yeah.
And I believe her. I believe her when she said she met with James Gunn about Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah, and again, he would have probably. I think he does need to really reboot the whole old characters because it's just tainted, right? Like with
yeah.
So I mean, it's a shame, but they'll find another Wonder Woman. But
I
she
think
was good. And I want David Corenswet to be successful. I like the idea of a sort of classic Superman rather than we've gone a bit too far in the Jim Lee poses, right?
Right. Oh man. Oh, now that's cool.
Oh, Batman 89.
Yeah, issue 1 of 6. So yeah, that came in the giveaway box too.
Oh, nice.
So there was wasn't there? There was only 6 issues of this, right?
And then they made another series.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a second,
and it
with,
follows.
It follows the movie lore and characters, and in the second one doesn't what's his name, Lando Calrissian, doesn't he become Two-Face?
He becomes Two-Face. Yes,
That's awesome. I love that idea.
But he was always supposed to, like, he was Harvey Dent in the first movies, right? So
yeah,
it was always supposed to happen, but it never did.
So we get Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent, and we get Damon Wayans Jr. as Robin.
Yes, yeah.
Because that was
Very
the original plan.
That was the original pitch, I think.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, let's see how. We've got Matt Likes Comics as well. Welcome. Hello. Good to see you.
Friend Matt.
Let's move this to one side. Is this a variant cover? I'm assuming, is this a Frizen?
It looks very Frizen.
It really does.
It's great. If that's not Jenny Frizen, then maybe I'm not gay. I mean, like, it's looking very Frizen.
Yeah. Again, this probably will. I might take this to a show and get it signed because that's lovely. If it is a Frizen, chat. If you know this is a Frizen, let us know. Mark from Legion of Comics is in the house. He'll know, surely, but he'll let us know. I'm sure. Welcome, Mark.
Is that a variant from the newest run, the Tom King run?
Wonder Woman 71. No.
Oh no,
Wilson. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
Yep, Jenny Frizen variants. Yeah, it is.
It is? Okay. Yep. Well, that might be coming to Heroes.
2019. Voila.
Very good. All right, so that's my Only Slabs DC pickups that came in. So I wanted to share those today. So I'm pretty happy with those. They're really good. There's a couple of other books, but we'll save that for a Marvel themed show. This came in recently. Quite timely. Thought I'd share that. I know, Nate, you might have something to share. I always find this funny. A lot of this is not the Lobo. This is not Lobo, is it really?
What, the purple jumpsuit?
The purple jumpsuit, yeah. Let's find it.
It's Lobo as Keith Giffen originally envisioned.
Well, the thing is, he's always he's Keith Giffen's creation. Keith Giffen is the one who evolves him. You know,
True.
Yeah.
And and I don't know, Lobo's a little bit murderous here, so
the character is there. I think Simon Bisley really developed the look of Lobo. Keith Giffen had the character, but the look was defined by the original miniseries.
Yeah. I just picked up Justice League. What's the issues? Is it 14 and 15?
I think it's a little later where he actually shows up and they're in the house and Barda's like, don't let him bleed, he'll make more, and she boom tubes him. Yeah, I love those 2 issues.
That's to me, that's the introduction of Lobo. That's the first.
Well, I would dare to say Legion 89. We get to the meat and potatoes of Lobo.
All right. Yeah. But that's the thing. It's one of these.
But I'm just saying, Legion 89, that Legion 89, 90, that's the real Lobo, and then comes this miniseries. But if you want to see Lobo cultivate into Lobo, it's during Legion 89. It's when he shows up to kick Superman's ass. Those are the early days. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that's the one.
Justice League 18 and 19.
And 19.
You have to get the thing that I love about it. You have to get 18, and you've got to get both because also they make a beautiful pair.
They do. They do.
So good.
And I love it when a couple of guys make a beautiful pair.
We all do.
We all do.
Oh, don't say it just to make me feel better.
No, not at all. All welcome, Cliff.
So what I picked my copy of this up last year for $50, and my copy is in really good shape. So I am probably gonna at peak Supergirl FOMO. I'll probably sell or trade it because I really don't care that much. It's a cool book, but
Right.
there's other things I'd rather have.
I've got two. This is the undercopy. This one's got one spine take. I've got one in the drawer for grading, which I will get graded because I think it's that alongside 18 and 19 for me. I did have a full run Cliff of Justice of Legion 89, and I forgot the relevance of it and put it in my dollar bin at one of the fairs that I did.
We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes.
Like, and now I'm going back looking for it.
And you're like, what do you mean he turned into duplicate Stanton? What do you mean Varel Docs went and neutered him? Oh my God, all that happens in that series.
Oh, that was so good. Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? I might. As someone, Mark's just said, like he's got an extra copy. He's going to give it away to channel members down there. I think
that's a heck of a giveaway, buddy.
It's a good giveaway.
Yeah.
It's a great giveaway.
Here we go.
Oh, Mr. Terrific.
So, yeah, I think this character is going to be fascinating. I think it'll be. Yeah, I picked this up. I think it was $80. Yeah, $80 Australian, right? So that's like $50. Way back. I think when it was first announced. But I do get a sense he's going to be a big character, right? According to James Gunn.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like he's going to play a pretty decent part in the new movie.
Yeah, let's see.
The trailer even had T-spheres in it, for God's sake. Like,
yeah.
I don't think we've seen that outside of a cartoon, maybe.
Yeah, the cartoons had them. That's about it.
Yeah, that's it. So
nice one from Matt Likes Comics. Can't wait for Supergirl books to go up as I have most of them.
Yeah, I just told he won't sell anything though. He's not going to.
He'll have pride in them. He'll have extra pride.
He'll be rich in pride, exactly. Yeah. Which I wouldn't sell Supergirl books if I had them either.
Sorry, Nat.
It's all right.
Yeah, we sit there and we'll go, oh, my comics are worth this much, but we never sell them.
No.
You know, all I'm thinking right now is that Simon Bosley has gotten so much signature action because he's alive and people are just getting their Lobo stuff graded left and right.
Yeah.
Is this a Richard Corbin cover?
That I do not know.
I think so.
Look here.
Oh. It appears so.
Wow. That's
was Mr. Terrific on the CW?
Corbin. Yes.
Wow. That is fantastic. I wasn't sure if that's great. I mean, that in itself, it's like Corbin covers are like I can't imagine he's doing many covers nowadays, surely. But this is clearly this one. So yeah, Mr. Terrific, looking forward to that. You want
to know here, I'll give you a little extra tidbit. The storyline that this picks up on, Spectre number 54, is from Justice League of America 170 and 171 and 172 from the original series.
Right. Okay.
So they never quite wrapped up on like finding the killer of the original Mr. Terrific. And so this story like caps it off, and the Spectre uses that story to convince Michael Holt to take up the mantle.
Yeah. Well,
for anyone who cares.
I mean, who knows again, this is the problem with the DC that I have, right? Is with Marvel, I pretty much know all the runs. I know where to go. And I'm relying on you, Cliff, to tell me what to pick up, because I just have no idea. Because I don't like just buying a key book, right? Because I'm not totally into the spec. I'd like to have the history and sort of at least have a run or some story arc to be able to follow. So
there you go. Justice League 171, 172, original series. Put them together as a little trio.
Yep. Perfect.
And I know you feel so you just have such a passion and a better bank account than me. You could probably go hunt down the Terry Sloma's terrific first appearance and and wrap it all up in a bow.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that. I'll have a look. Jeff's here too. Right. Hello. I didn't think Corbin did any mainstream stuff in that time period. But again, he's got his name on there, so I'm like, how I didn't even know that he was still doing stuff. So,
Well, up
hopefully,
until that time, for sure.
wow, it's yeah. So not only is it the first Mr. Terrific, it's a Corbin film.
Mr. Terrific's first appearance is Wonder Woman's first appearance.
Oh no!
What's that?
Sensation Comics #1 is Mr. Terrific's first appearance, and it's also Wonder Woman's.
Yeah, it's going to be a little pricey.
Oh my!
Oh, so that's
God.
not. So what is the key significance of this then? It is Mr. Terrific, isn't it? In the
What's a different
Right, but
Mr.
he's
Terrific?
not the first Mr.
oh,
Terrific.
the first
Yeah.
one.
The Golden Age Mr. Terrific.
There you go. That's why I needed you. So the Golden Age versus the Modern Age.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a Sandman, but not the Sandman. This is
No, but it's a
the
cool
Sandman.
one.
The Kirby Sandman, which beautiful Nick. Got this from Future Past Vintage Collectibles. I'm really picking up as much Kirby as I possibly can from DC, and I still owe myself the whole Fourth World stuff. I've got Mr. Miracle, but need more. Need some more stuff. I haven't stretched out from Mr. Miracle yet.
I love the New God stuff. It's so weird, but I do love it.
Matt pointed out Terry Sloan's first appearance is Wonder Woman's second appearance. But when you see that cover, you'll know how important that cover is.
Legion, Mr. Terrific is a legacy character. Indeed. Any thoughts on Sandman? The Sandman? Have either of you read it? I'm assuming.
I have, and
I mean, you're talking about the Kirby Sandman stuff,
not the Sandman. No, I'm
if I find it reprinted, in something, it's nothing I track down. It's goofy. It's Kirby art, so I'll always check it out.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's more. Do we buy Kirby because of the we buy Kirby because of the art, not because of the story sometimes, right? Like Kirby was a bit out there.
The new God stuff is insane, but I buy it because I want to see big Kirby machines and Kirby Crackle. But I even picked up a lot of the first issue special stuff that he did, like the Dingbats and there's just a ton of these like one shot. They let Kirby create something to see if it would go anywhere, and it didn't. And that's what half of the first issue special books are. But the ones that he drew, I've picked up because he drew them, even when they're terrible.
Danger Street, the Dingbats, the Creeper, Dr. Fate, Atlas, of course, because Atlas is a shoe barn.
Yep.
Manhunter.
Manhunter, that's the other one he did. Yeah.
And New Gods did have a good story. I think he just still had some time constraints on it.
Yeah. It's a funny one because I think it's have they ever done a piece where they took all the characters that he created and tried to redo them all?
Yeah, it's called Danger Street, and it's a Black Label miniseries that came out last year. Go get it.
Yeah, it's great.
There you go.
It is great. It is so good. It is well worth a read.
Look who's here, everyone. It's Christina Payne.
It's Christina.
Hi, Christina.
Hello. Thanks for being here.
Great to be. Thank you for dropping some links, Christina, as always.
The best.
Right, so there's your Kirby. And then I got this again, Legends #1. Now, I bought this. So part of my rationale for some of this is that I'm a massive John Byrne fan. And so anything where John Byrne's in it, I just like his... I think at the time I was like, DC was boring. Like the art wasn't, in my mind, wasn't great. But then when Byrne comes along and he's like, after doing X-Men, starts rendering all of these DC characters, and it got me interested because of the fact, it was a nice intro to DC.
I'm going to forgive you because you just didn't know the glory of George Perez, and I'm just going to let you have that.
I was going to say, yeah. I mean,
like,
DC, you're slumming with Jim Aparo and George Perez and
Neil Adams,
Jose Luis Garcia, Neil Adams. I mean, there was, those guys were nowhere near the level of. You're killing me, Dave.
No, but no. It's not as if I didn't appreciate those artists. Like I caught the odd Batman, right, with Neil Adams, reprinted in the UK, or I'd see Perez. Like I did, like. I sort of saw Crisis on the shelves and things like that, right? But it didn't pull me in at that point because I was still a wee man.
Well, also, I think also, man, it's the we gravitate towards the characters we like, and even if the art's great, if you weren't in the DC camp, I could totally see Crisis not appealing to somebody because it was so many characters. And if you look at a lot of these Crisis covers, if you don't know DC characters, you don't know who half the people are.
Okay, with that, also look at this cover.
Yes. I mean,
okay,
yes,
like who do you know on this cover as a kid? Okay, maybe Shazam, maybe Firestorm if you saw the cartoon series, and Darkseid if you saw the cartoon series. It's Brimstone. I forgot what's his name's face there, the gold armor dude. I know Cosmic Boy because of my personal Legion experience. I mean, this cover is madness, but yet somehow it reached out into little David's mind and it piqued all
no, it's the John Byrne, it's the Byrne stuff that got me across because I was following X-Men, and I think it's more, I'll be honest as well, from why DC didn't hit it. Marvel's distribution in the UK was so much bigger and much more prolific, right? They had their own publishing arm. They also brought in their own books and had UK prices. DC did, but I think their distribution was much more limited. I'm going to have to
ask Paul Levitz all about it the next time I see him.
Yeah, I do remember I did have a Captain Carrot #1 when I was young. So there were books that I were picking up, but it was, I think...
Captain Carrot is DC's Peter Porker.
Yeah, I mean, there you go.
I love me the Zoo Crew. Oh, speaking of George Perez.
This is great.
So there you go, gentlemen. I'm not like a complete Philistine in terms of not understanding. So I have been sort of picking these up as we go. There's a couple of these that I want.
Young David cultivated taste over time. Good job.
There you go. I did not come on my own show to get berated for my lack of DC.
We do it with love.
I don't need your hate.
I love this era of the Justice League.
I'm pretty sure David knows just how much I love him, so I feel secure in that.
I agree.
Tell me more about your love of DC at this era, because I think this is
It's a good thing you quickly said DC because I thought this was going to go in a different direction.
You got this Justice League. This is the big dogs, right? You got your Trinity, you got Flash, Green Lantern, Green Arrow from time to time, Black Canary. But then they start getting into the weeds with some of these characters, especially in the 80s with the Justice League, where all of the bigger players left, and it was Vixen, Steel, Vibe, I mean, I love C and D list characters, and this was a book that introduced a lot of them to me. So they would, like on this one, Firestorm. I have that. I don't remember the issue number, but there's a great issue where I think it's Superman is telling the rest of here, he's like, Firestorm is in the Justice League now, everyone. It feels Silver Agey in the goofiness of the cover, but we're introducing some of, they were trying to introduce some of their newer characters that weren't as popular, and this was a great vehicle to do that. So when I was a kid,
it worked wonderfully. And also the reason they went off the rails with like the whole Vixen Steel era is because they wanted a more intimate book like Teen Titans and X-Men, because that was doing so well. Yeah. And the thing is people are like, that's not what we want from our Justice League. So it didn't really work out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Matt just said it, the Justice League Detroit era, people didn't like it, but some of us did. There are dozens of us. I liked it.
Yeah. We're out there.
We've got excuse me. We've got Cali Comics is in the house as well, so welcome to the show. And then I'm just looking. We had a couple of other comments as well. Tate's here. Tate Prime. Hi, Tate. And then
Jeff. He's another Detroit.
I think I added Jeff already, but we'll
League.
Let's bring this one up. Where is it from Jeff? I love this era of JLA too.
Yeah.
I got another one for you from this era, I think.
Oh, I have this one. It's a great cover.
These were both. I'm just going to double check. Yeah, like $10 each, like super minty fresh. So I thought that was a good pickup to get me into it and actually enjoy the Detroit era.
Yeah,
so.
That's good stuff, man. So many crossovers with the JSA too.
Oh, what's that comment from Jeff? There's a JSA New God story during that era by Dick Dillon, Jim Starlin, and George Perez. Need to check it out.
Yep.
Heroes for Hire Club is here as well.
Hey.
And with that, I got a Brave and the Bold. And the reason I bought this one,
I have this one. It's a good
Swamp
one.
Thing and Batman, which feels like a not very natural team up.
Oh,
no,
really?
and yet they teamed up so often.
Right.
They really did. There's all sorts of weirdo, crossovers,
One of my favorite stories is the one where Swamp Thing goes to Gotham and he's got that dog. I think it's like Swamp Thing 8 or something. I can't remember what issue it is.
2 issues too. Yeah.
It's great. It's a great story.
You know, and then like there's another one where Batman has to go out to the bayou, like that's a whole thing. Like just the most rando stuff. Like, how is this happening again? And then the two of them are like, and then they're both so like, oh, it's you. Like, like Batman's like, I don't want to deal with this crap. And Swamp Thing's like, yeah, like I can feel you don't want to deal with me.
Well,
yeah, I think they're a cool pairing.
Yeah, I think they're a cool pairing. It's funny seeing Swamp Thing in like a superhero type pose type comic when you consider where he goes in the story arc.
He's bolted up for crucifixion. So I mean, like the cover's really saying something to us, isn't it?
Batman's got to save him. For sure.
Yeah, he's got to save him.
Got to save him. Otherwise, we don't get Alan Moore. So.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's good. We talked about Atlas and Jack Kirby earlier.
Yes. I have this one. I got this recently as a gift.
Again.
And I have 2.
You do? Okay.
Yes, I have my slab and which I paid pennies on the dollar for, and I have my loose one that I picked up at Terrificon.
It's a great looking cover as well. So
it is, and it's a fun little book.
$9. I got this from Bronze and Modern Gods, one of their claim sales.
Nice.
Alongside this, they would like again. For high grade, I was like, just grab them. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. This is why I wanted some help because I'm just picking up random titles when I think they're useful. Knowing you've got 2 of these, Cliff, gives me, gives me faith that I'm making the right decisions.
Well,
my main reason for going after it was I was loving the Danger Street miniseries of the present so much that I was like, I'm going to start grabbing the old ones just so that I have them, just to have some talking points.
The one I don't have that I want from first issue special more than any other is Lady Cop. Okay. I just think it's a great title.
It's very you. It's very.
It is. I know.
I did get this one. This is I got another. So I got issue 1 and then issue 10. This is the thing that I found hilarious about first issue special. It's like first issue special number 10.
Right.
It's crazy.
I don't have this one.
I just picked it up on just on a whim. Again,
it's too bad that those outsiders have nothing to do with Batman's outsiders.
Yeah.
Right.
How many was in the run of Outsiders? Not Outsiders, sorry, first issue special. Was it like 20 something issues? Or?
Oh, I don't even think it's that many.
No, I think it's like 12.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So easy enough to finish the run.
Oh yeah.
Except for what was the one you wanted again?
I want Lady Cop.
Lady Cop.
Yeah, Lady Cop. Yeah.
Right. We'll have to get that. This is a dupe, unfortunately. I don't know why I keep buying this one. Like I've got probably about 4 of these.
You know what? Because there's just something about George Frez Cyborg that calls out to you, isn't it?
It is. No, you know what it is?
really
I keep
is,
forgetting
though.
to look at my CLZ or Wacom app to work out whether or not I have it. And I go, I'm missing a book. It must be this one. Right? And it's invariably not. Now I've finished the 4-issue miniseries. But yeah, this is the one I've picked up multiple times. They're all in super high grade. So if anyone wants one of these, I'm happy to sort of pass it on. Especially if with that George Perez.
Yeah,
Well, there are 13. There are 13 first issue specials, and the very last one is the New Gods.
right.
Okay. Well, yes, as I say, there you go. Teen Titan, New Teen Titans. I like New Teen Titans. That's another one I did come across early on when I was.
The Wolfman Perez run of Teen Titans is so good.
Yeah, it has a special place. When did it get bad? Is my question, because I'm up to issue 22 or 23 in terms of the run.
I don't know. I mean, I know I read the Wolfman and Perez.
I'm sorry. Am I supposed to? I'm supposed to tell you that it got bad. It never got bad.
It never got bad.
Okay, maybe like at the minute George Frez leaves, you should start to hit being concerned. And then I think the minute Jurgens is no longer on the art, we've hit rock bottom.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get at. Where's the jumping off point? Because you need.
I'll be honest with you. My jumping off point was Teen Titans. Teen Titans was my jumping off point.
Right. Okay.
Where I'm like, okay, I've had enough. And how many more terrible things can you do to my precious Donna Troy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a good point. Cyborg 1 would have made us a great acetate cover.
Well, there's still time. You know, as soon as Dave has 1 million subscribers, let's get our own acetate version of Tales of Teen Titans Cyborg #1, because there's nothing stopping us. And DC and everybody loves money, so just tell them, oh, I want this reprinted. Let's do an acetate cover.
Let's do it. Yeah, my giveaway will be like every subscriber gets a copy of the acetate cover.
Every subscriber of like the second and third tier, you get a copy. You know. We'll send a bunch to CGC. Maybe Wolfman wrote it. We'll get Wolfman to sign a bunch of them. It'll be lovely. It'll, probably cost a small fortune, but you have 1 million subscribers at that point. So we're great.
At that point, you can do it. All right, that's my commitment. 1 million subscribers will do it.
Perfect. All right,
that's a good goal. Dave Enrique.
It's time for a subscriber drive.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Road to 1 million.
Road to 1 million. I'm on that road too. It's just, I'm not out of the driveway yet.
All right, here we go. So we'll go one by one. So a near mint plus full run, $75.
I know the first one is. Are they all wraparound covers?
No.
Okay.
Aren't they? Aren't they?
No, they're not.
Cliff says no, and I trust Cliff. The first one is for sure. I knew that.
First one is.
Oh, yes. I see. Yeah, no,
they're not all. I didn't think the rest were.
No. So this is issue 1.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, if you didn't know DC, like, look at this cover. You've got Superman.
Yep.
Firestorm.
Yep.
And that's it. Like, otherwise,
you've got Cyborg. You've got Cyborg.
Blue Beetle.
And then you don't. And then I'll give you that. Look, Cyborg was on the cartoon, and so was Firestorm.
Okay.
And Teen Titans was one of the top 2 selling books of all time at the time. So we got Superman, Cyborg, Firestorm. Then we've got Dawnstar from the Legion of Superheroes, Orion, whatever of Atlantis, Blue Beetle, fresh from Charlatan, and Pariah. So now it's questionable. Now issue 2, it starts getting wild. Now we got a Super Ape. We got Firebrand, we got Dawnstar, we got Obsidian from Infinity Inc., we got Firestorm, we got Superman of Earth 2, we got Commandi. We don't know what the hell's going on here, but at this point, why shouldn't this cover pique your interest? This shit is wild.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And then it devolves even more. Like,
Right. Like now it's even
Literally
more
just with the
exciting.
Flash.
I love this one. I love this cover actually. The
I
layout.
love
of
it,
this
but
one.
too.
It doesn't say anything to a newbie reader.
No, but does this cover not scream? The title of the cover is Crisis, and then this cover doesn't scream Crisis. You got people in World War II Moscow. You got a Flash dying in front of the Teen Titans. You got Firebrand and Green Lantern when teaming up in the corner there, and in the top you got the Monitor watching the freaking Legion of Superheroes Watchtower, where they basically watching their friends die. I mean, the cover, maybe the cover's saying too much. The cover's saying too much.
I just counted, and it was a quick count, so I may be low here, but there are at least 30 superheroes on this cover for number 3. George Perez can cram people in.
Oh wow, yeah.
It's insane. It is insane how many characters are on this cover. They're so and this, this is such a good cover, and they would never do this today. It has to be a full big.
There's few people who can do it today.
Very true. Yeah. That is very true.
If I were going to do this today, the first person I'm calling is Phil Jimenez. I'll be like, Phil, we need you, baby. We need you.
It's funny. You almost want. This is one where if you find, this needs to, like, this piece of art. If you really look at it, you need it in the original size, like an artist edition or something.
It also does a really good job of selling the story, because there are all these different teams in different places doing different, they're all trying to do what they're doing. But I just love the makeup of the teams is so good. When you've got Geoforce and the Haunted Tank,
right? No, Geoforce, the Haunted Tank, and Sergeant Rock and his gang, and they're there and they're trying to protect the tower, right? And they're like, there's Nazis here, and they're in Markovia, by the way. So it's Geoforce's city just during World War II, and he's just like, I mean, we're here. Should we just like kill Nazis? Like, oh, they're like, yeah, like, So they're like, there's like earthquakes, time quakes, and they're like, yeah, we're blasting Nazis too, because we're gonna take advantage of the situation. That's like my favorite part. That's like my favorite scene in issue 3.
That is hilarious.
We got issue 4. I'm just looking at issue 5 already before it comes on as well.
Yeah.
Issue 4 is probably is the least featured with only 3 characters.
Yeah,
so.
But it's 3 Crisis characters.
Right. Yeah. This is not super. This is the characters created for the series. So
yeah.
But the next one.
Looking at this, I was like going, "Oh, this is a boring cover," and then you realize those faces in the background. That's when you go, George Perez being George Perez.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Just throwing all of those. And you would imagine that, like, if Marvel did corner boxes, you just need to take from this.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, if DC did corner boxes like Marvel does. I'm assuming a lot of this stuff just ended up in that was the DC Who's Who. What was that DC Who's Who?
Oh yeah.
No, but he drew everything for the Who. No, he didn't. He drew the Who's Who covers, and there was various artists who did the interiors for Who's Who.
Yeah, which I'm sure he was featured on more than a few of them, but
he did all the covers.
Oh, they're so good.
Yes,
I mean that's
like John Byrne did the one to Marvel.
Right?
Yeah.
Or those are all the original volume 1 of Who's Who are all wraparound covers.
Yes. That connects.
There we go.
Very cool.
And there is
that one is awesome.
Yeah.
That was the other thing about the series. Like, it built steam. Like, we did not see the Anti-Monitor until like the last page of issue 5, and it's like, look at his face here on the cover of issue 6.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like pure evil. Get to know me.
And then I've got a couple of these already, but I don't know why. But again,
the book that makes me cry nonstop.
And again, like, really look at that, because you don't notice in the purple how many characters.
It's all I can think about. It's all I could think about when I was a kid. I could name every character on that cover.
It is insane, right?
It is, and it's so funny because I never really truly noticed that until you just mentioned it. Because you just focus on that central pose,
right? And it's everybody. Like Cliff said, it's not that it's just a crowd. It is specific. It is all the specific characters from DC.
Yeah,
and you can go through and name them all.
I mean, it's not literally
Cliff can.
It's not literally everybody, but it is a very large number.
It's a big
and
chunk.
Of course. And the reason it's such a large number is because, the most powerful heroes were like Batman wasn't there. Like, let's be real, right? But it was one of those things like we're taking the fight to the Anti-Monitor, right? So it's like Superman and Supergirl and Power Girl and Mon-El and Martian Manhunter and Captain Atom. Like we're powerhouses, or like we're taking the battle to him, and they are getting their asses handed to them.
Batman is there.
No, he's not in the event. He's not in the moment. Yeah, he's not when Supergirl dies, and all these people I'm naming are there, including the new Dr. Light. Which Supergirl basically dies, continuing to yell at Dr. Light, "Stop admiring me and take my cousin and get out of here."
That's the thing that's what you were referring to the night. Like literally for this cover, he's just put everybody on.
Everybody
that he could possibly cram in. Yes.
Yeah.
Like
it's they're all there paying their respect, but Cliff's right. In the story, it's the powerhouses fighting the Anti-Monitor, and Kara sacrifices herself. But the cover's amazing.
Cover's amazing.
This is the one that Cliff broke my heart. That
one makes me cry. They both make me cry for different reasons. Kara's makes me cry because of the way she fights with everything she has, and the way she says goodbye to Kal-El, and Barry's makes me cry because he is alone.
Yeah, he's been alone through the whole series. Like,
but just the fact that he knows he is sacrificing himself, right? And he knows he's alone in those moments, and it breaks my heart. And of course, in those moments, he thinks about the people he cares about and loves, and so he appears to Batman. He appears to Wally. He makes these moments of appearance in his moments of death because he's thinking of them until he just becomes, nothing. Which later on they rewrote it to he becomes the Speed Force, right?
Yeah.
But still,
they rewrote it so that he actually becomes the lightning bolt that gives him his powers.
Gives himself powers, yes.
Which I love that. Like, that was a great retcon. But his sacrifice it was just huge. It was huge. It was impactful in a way that, like, I don't think a lot of superhero stories had been like that. Hey, we're gonna kill, because he was dead for a long time, guys. Like, I mean, Barry did not come back until the early 2000s. So we're talking like 1980. It was 15, 20 years.
He was dead. He was dead a good 20 years. Hal was out of the picture a good 10 years at least. Heck, they even kept Superman dead for 2 years. That was impressive.
Yeah. It's funny why I sometimes get this. You should just leave. If it means that much as a death, just leave it.
Well, they tried. But if you noticed, the almighty dollar can't stop them. Bucky was dead for how long?
Yeah, but
then you're like, Winter Soldier money. Jason Todd was dead for how long? Red Hood money.
But you know what though? The thing is, like, Winter Soldier, and what's the other one you just said?
A Red Hood.
Oh yeah, both of those characters, they came back more interesting. Like, they came back and they added to the universe. They were more interesting than they were as dead characters. I sadly cannot say that about Barry.
But no one is dead, is my point.
Yeah.
Death went right back to meaning absolutely nothing. The only people who are dead and locking it down is Gwen Stacy and her dad and 616 Uncle Ben. I can't think of too many other people who actually mean something that they're dead, that are holding it down in comics.
Oh, right. Cliff, you're gonna be upset. Gwen Stacy is apparently coming back. The Gwen Stacy.
The Gwen says, "Oh, you see, the almighty dollar, they can't stop themselves. You know, what a shame. I love me some Ultimate Gwen. I love me some Spider Gwen. I love that everyone gets emotional when they're around her because of who she is.
Yeah.
But what can you do? What can you do?
This is I think
Another
I keep
one.
saying this is one of my favorites, but this really is.
Every cover in this series is
so
a
good.
bang.
This villain cover's outstanding.
Yeah, and there's like only 3 Earths left at this point, you know, and like their barriers are all like interconnected, so you could just like run across the border and be on another Earth, and the villains are like, "Yo, let's just take over a planet for ourselves." You know,
so crazy. And just again, look at that. Look just how many characters he's cramming in.
I know you got everybody in there, you know.
Yeah. This is the thing that I'm really now having you both on and looking at these covers, because I didn't think about this. Is you look at the main framing, but then you just look, they're all over the place.
Right.
It's like you could do like a Where's Wally game with them.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy stuff. And again, have they done an artist's edition of Crisis? They should, right? Like, because
they did some kind of special edition.
I have the really heavy duty George Press like deluxe edition that I can knock an intruder out with.
Yeah, slightly oversized, but not the
but not like an artist edition. But you know, here's the Spectre and the Anti-Monitor, you know, battling at the beginning of time as super beings would do. You know, and then this event is what leads into the birth of the new universe.
And this kind of cover here, like, it does crack me up to see non-powered heroes like Blue Beetle fighting at the dawn of, like, what are they gonna do at the Big Bang? Like, they should not be there. But I do appreciate having them on the cover.
Batman's there, which is
he is
again,
Batman.
Not there in the actual event.
Not there in the
right. Should he be?
That's so. Wouldn't we be like, people would be up in arms now? Like, they'd be just like, he's not in the story. Why is he on the cover?
Yeah, well, he is in the story.
He's in the story, but not in not in this. Yeah, but you know what I mean. It's like I'd be a bit shortchanged.
I guess, but at the same, like, Batman's present is just he's where he belongs. You know. Yeah. You got all the high-powered people dishing it out at a godlike supervillain. So, like, yeah, that's how it should go down. Yeah. You know? Not Batman showing up in his bat plane and crashing into the Anti-Monitor while jumping out the window simultaneously, firing special antimatter batarangs and, you know, all that crap that you guys love so much that is just insane. You know, but whatever. It's comics, everybody. It's comics.
It's comics.
Batman being Batman. That's what we need. Yeah.
It can have it's comics, Cliff. It can have all of those things.
I know, but it's disgusting. He's supposed to be human. Batman's like the least human ever.
I think that's an interesting part of his character. Like, he's driven by this like robbery of his humanity when he was young, and his way of doing it is by.
I didn't mean it in a fun way. I meant, and why is he? How come he fell out of the stratosphere and lived? I mean it in that way. I don't mean it in the oh my god, he was robbed of his humanity at youth. No, I don't mean it in that way. That's cute. Yeah. That's Batman the Animated Series. That's when someone knows how to write Batman appropriately. It's called Batman the Animated Series, and it's called Justice League Unlimited. All this other stuff is insane.
And I love it.
And you do. All of you. You can all buy it and love it. And I will abandon it time and time again. Unless Dick is involved.
11.
I feel like that was a double entendre. But
it might have been.
Let's let it hang. Hey, let's let it hang there for a minute.
Let me tell you, it's going to go from hanging to something else if it's going to be around me. I can't leave it alone.
We all like a bit of Nightwing, right?
Heck yes.
Last two in the mix, issue 11 and issue 12.
Beautiful.
Again, particularly 12. There's like
11's one of my least favorite, if I can be honest.
Yeah. Why?
individually, I don't hate the panels or anything. I just don't feel like it's a cover as much as the others.
The others are covers. It feels like it's a part of the book, right?
It does, yeah.
I don't know. To me, it reminds me of issue 3, where there's so much going on and you're getting a piece of everything going on.
Yeah.
And again, I love George Perez so much. You're not going to get an argument from me. I'm like, every issue is a banger.
Yeah.
So this is the thing. If that's your worst cover,
right. Like I'm not even saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, when I'm looking at all these covers, this is the one that's like the least dynamic to me, I guess.
In the meantime, you don't know what it's like to be a kid looking for this, never have seen it before, and then you finally find it at a comic store, and that cover is like, oh my god, I found issue 11, and like just the excitement.
I think that's the thing. I've gone through that recently, picking these up, because I didn't have the full set. I'd like picking them up one by one. I've got a couple graded, and it's coming to. I felt like I was able to come at it brand new. And to your point, Cliff, exactly. You sort of go, wow, that's interesting. Oh, wow, that's interesting take. Oh, so it's good to.
I mean, back to my earlier point, though, I have doubles or triples of several of Crisis just because I like the covers. But I only have one of number 11, so I guess that's why.
Number 11? You know what? It's just it needs more Batman. Apparently, Robin and Huntress with Batman being overshadowed isn't enough for you,
right?
Perhaps if that was Gotham City on the right in place of actually, you know what? Amethyst is on the cover. You should want this more.
I know.
You know what? The next time you see one out in the wild, I want you to think of me and think of Amethyst.
I'm going to, and now I'm going to buy it.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
You sold me, Cliff.
Good.
Unbelievable. All right.
But 12, hey, 12 is awesome, Dave. 12? I was just going to say, the cover to 12, we didn't really highlight how that is with everybody attacking.
Yes.
And him like crawling out of Metropolis. It's just awesome.
And I love them. They're all in his fists as well.
There's just nobody like Perez. Nobody else could pull this off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the beautiful epic scope. Although when they did Dark Crisis, someone homaged that cover.
Oh, really?
Yes, so like someone came pretty close, but of course you know how much I hate Dark Crisis, so
I didn't collect that.
I was nauseated.
I'm afraid to go into any other Crisis than this one.
Oh, listen. Infinite Crisis is wonderful, and you would have a great time. And then I think you shouldn't go any further after that because it's only going to break your heart.
I think Infinite Crisis is it takes so much from the original Crisis miniseries. It is a good read.
Yes.
So both of us highly recommend that one and no other.
Nate, you had something you wanted to show, which is
Daniel Samper. Daniel Samper did the homage cover.
Okay. Nate, did you want to show that book that we talked about pre-show? The
history?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'll make it big and.
All right. So after Crisis came out, which the whole purpose was they were wrapping up their multiverse and streamlining everything. They came out with this 2-issue series called History of the DC Universe, which is like a history book that retells and how all of the characters are going to be worked in. And it literally starts with the Big Bang. So the new DC Universe, how did it start? And it goes through like cosmic characters. We've got some of the Dreams family here. That's Destiny, right? With the book. Isn't that his name? But it starts off with the prehistory. We've got Kamandi and all of the cave people. But then, the really important aspect of it was that when we finally got into, and I'm not sure if it's in this book or the next one, but when we finally get into the superheroes, like, because, there were so many different Supermen, and what was did he arrive in a ship? Did he arrive as a baby? Did he, all these things. So all of these characters from the Golden Age everything was tweaked so that there was just one timeline, and so this was a
Right.
two-parter. And I feel like it's kind of a necessary book to have
Yeah.
if you're going to read Crisis, and then see like what their plan was for how they were going to have the DC universe set, but it didn't last. Like
Yeah.
DC just loves to write themselves into a corner and then to just push that big reset button, and it's terrible.
It's just brutal, so brutal.
Well, it's actually timely in terms of you talking. And that wasn't all George Perez art. It was art from the different creators that took on the titles. Is that right?
No, this thing is all Perez. Some of it's painted, but it's written by Marv Wolfman with art by George Perez. So
okay,
it is very cool. The reason you just want it for the art piece, it's very
just
cool.
for stuff. Yeah, the reason why I say that is because then we've got this. Which
Now we're back to Burn. Yes,
now we're back to Burn. Right, full circle for me. And I did pick this up back when I was a kid, so this is nice to sort of go and pick this back up again. What was your take on Byrne's Superman? It doesn't sound very good.
I liked the way he made Clark look. I liked the art of this series. I am not the world's biggest John Byrne fan, especially as a writer.
Right.
I feel like he's a good artist. He's a really good artist, but his writing, I think he needs somebody guiding him a lot more because he has done some questionable crap.
Oh, he has. But I will tell you, Man of Steel is near and dear to my heart. And it is the series that got me collecting comics.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. This thing made the news. And when it made the news, I was like, oh my God, I have to have this. And then began my comic book collecting. And of course, issue 6 came out. And it's like, follow the adventures of Superman and Action Comics, Superman and Adventures of Superman. And I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah. And I think as well, one thing, again, Byrne was I love I'm with you. Some of his story decisions, but I think during this era, he was at the top of his game. Like,
I will agree.
He was great here. His Submariner run, his Namor, great. Then people start to age.
But I love this as well. That this is the first proper variant cover ever.
Right. Well, that was the direct edition. Yes.
This is a direct. Yeah. And
well, actually, no, you're right. It was the direct and it was variants because the other direct is the regular Clark bursting the shirt, but it has the DC thingy on the bottom.
Yep. So this is again, I'm trying to work out. It's not clear which is the rarer variant, if any. But yeah,
they made a ton of them.
I thought I had both, but I clearly only have the one. And these are all direct. So issue 2 again. I love these covers, right? Because of that sort of character scene. So Lois Lane.
And she looks very Margot Kidder there.
Yeah. But again, the problem you've got with John Byrne is pretty much everyone's faces look the same, which is
it's funny because she looks very Margot Kidder here, and he immediately starts making changes to Lois immediately. Issue 4, Lois is even more bold and different hair, and like getting angry with Lex Luthor on a yacht. Like everything's happening.
But this is making me. I want to dig these out now. I want to reread this. I haven't read this in probably 20 years.
I like it. I like his Batman.
I do too.
That's just really nice. And again, you could just get these characters. And here's your point on issue 4, Cliff.
Yep.
Like Lois, she's completely reinvented in 2 issues.
Absolutely. And she is such a badass bitch. I mean, she was dating Lex apparently, and then he says something fresh to her on the boat that they're on. And she's just like, oh, really? You bought all this for me? And she just takes everything off naked. And then she grabs the jacket and she's like escaping the jacket. But of course, there's people on the ship who are like, they got like semi-automatics and stuff. And Clark has to become Superman. And Lex is wildly annoyed by all of this. So love that. Love that. Plus, is the introduction of businessman Lex, who now, when I look at it, really reminds me of Kelsey Grammer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't get away from it. And I had to go to New Jersey to get this issue because for whatever reason, it did not make it to the rack at the local store because I didn't have a comic book store at the time. It was just, we went to this one really big supermarket that had a pharmacy and a bakery and everything in it.
Yeah.
And they didn't have this. And I went through one of my older comic books and started and then used information on the phone to find out what comic book stores there were in New Jersey. And there was one at the mall that my brother and sister already like to go shopping at every once in a while. So we drove an hour out to Paramus and went shopping, and I found Heroes World in that mall, and I got this issue there.
Isn't it wild how we used to find books? I mean, you would call, like, you would look in a comic book and there'd be an ad for a place that you could then call and ask them if they had it. It was a crazy time.
It's insane. And now I just go on eBay. I'm like, do you have this?
Right.
Oh, 1.5. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Number 5 with Bizarro.
Yes.
That was a sad one too.
And I quite like the way he's framed this here, right? Like you don't. Yeah.
Well, Bizarro's backwards. That's the first thing.
Oh, okay. That's more clever than I gave it credit for. I like it.
Bizarro's the only one not facing us.
Actually, that's fantastic. That's
I love it.
Clever.
I love it now.
You love it now. I'm glad I'm here for you. I'm glad we're the same age and I'm here for you.
I've always been glad you're here for me, Cliff.
That's
this
great.
Is wonderful.
And then
if we had met earlier, I would have tried to marry you.
No, it wouldn't have worked, but it would have been fun to try.
Oh, I always think it's fun to try.
So that's it. That's all I had. That's my lot. So these are all the pickups that I've had over the last couple of months, and just trying to build out classic issues, key issues. Not so many keys, actually, more classic issues, I think.
Yeah, I think you picked up some dang fine books, man, for somebody trying to explore DC. I always wonder with Crisis, though, like, if you weren't into the characters, if it's going to be interesting for somebody to read, because there's just so much. They don't.
I ran that experiment, and it is very hard. For inexperienced readers. And the funny thing is, the first time I read Crisis, I read it as an inexperienced reader. I kind of did too. But I kept going back to it, right? Because every time I went back to it, the experience was a little bit more interesting, a little bit different, because now I knew so much more about the characters. Like, I even had the issue where Earth 1 Superman goes to Earth 2 and trains young Clark how to use his powers, even though young Clark doesn't become Superboy. He's like, wow, this mysterious kid showed up. And then in like Crisis number 9, Earth 2 Lois and Kal-El are talking. She goes, is that the Superboy that like showed up in your past to train you? And he goes, no, somebody else.
Well, I don't know about you, Cliff. I started like really collecting books in 88, 89. And so because I was reading like, DC titles, it made sense for me to go back and read this, even though I didn't know a lot about it, because it was an entry point for somebody who wanted to know about the universe.
Yes. And so I started collecting. So my official collecting start point is 86 because of this series, because of Man of Steel.
So you're right there. Yeah. Okay.
So, so I was constantly like putting things together. So the first thing that I was very clear about is that I understood everything I was reading from Man of Steel forward, partly thanks to Man of Steel being on the news. I understood what I was reading forward was the new deal. And the first thing that excited me was that Mom and Pa Kent were alive.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing that excited me. Also, at the end of issue 1 of Superman, or Man of Steel, is this whole thing from John Byrne about his first episode of The Adventures of Superman being the haunted lighthouse. And that was a big deal for me. And I've ranted about that on other shows. But, anyhow, I have a lot of sentimental attachment to Man of Steel number 1.
So that's my theory. Rereading Man of Steel, because that's what made me aware of Crisis, because it was obviously that reboot.
Right.
But as I say, I still haven't read it, which is why I wanted to get it so that I can actually read it.
Well, do you feel like you know something
Yes.
about. You know enough about these characters that it's going to be interesting. You know.
So
Okay.
that's I'm a little bit at an advantage to most readers coming in cold, right? Because at least I understand, you know, they had such a convoluted sort of different types of characters in different eras, and they needed to reset everything, or at least try and unify.
At least they thought they needed it. Little did they know that. Look at Venomverse and Spider-Verse. Talk about not caring how much of a multiverse you have.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, do you think our fans can name all 487 spiders? Let's find out. And
Yep. I do have some others, but I won't share them this time. But I've got a very interesting piece of DC stuff that came recently, which I'll probably do another show. I might do another one of these because it's, you know, as I dig deeper into DC, I do need, as I say, the guidance of you gurus in this regard. So, but yeah, thank you very much, both of you, for joining and sharing this with me, because as I say, it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to learning more. I do have this one, which just for you, Nate. But this will be for a separate video. I think I've talked about this before. This is my trade with Ricky at All Sorts of Words, who couldn't be with us today, but at some point I want to do that video, because again, he sent me a whole bunch of DC keys to add to the mix as well.
Yeah, that's one that's on my list to grab. I don't have that one.
Yeah. But thank you both very much. If you haven't already, I think Christine has put the links in the chat.
It's so easy.
What's this?
He's like, I'm working on the Amethyst one. I'm like, it's like one of the easiest books to pick up.
I like to find things. I am a hunter. I like to go in the wild. I don't like to just order.
You know what? Look, I'm sure it's, you know, you've got that like scrappy mentality, and I appreciate it. But like also, Nate, unlike like I've faced death a few times now, so it's kind of like I don't have time, you know. So like, you know, so like that's like a $2.50 book. So I just snatch it.
I'll grab it. I'll do it. I'll show you when I get it, buddy.
Awesome. All right. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to Cliff on Comics on YouTube and Nate at Hall Yeah Comics as well. Thank you both for joining. It's been wild and a lot of fun. And thank you to everyone in the chat. We tried our best to keep up with everyone, but thank you for everyone that interacted and was part of it today. And thank you, Christina, for putting the links in. I've seen you've been very busy, so thank you very much. And with that, we will say goodbye to you all. It's been an absolute joy. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. Please leave a comment in the video. Let us know what you thought. If there's any other books I should be looking for, let me know. And with that, we will see you all very soon. Take care.